Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is AES and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video marks the beginning of my video game review series where I will review games that I never played and reviewed, as well as games that I already reviewed but in a text format on Twitter. Today's video is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Developed by Ubisoft and played on the PlayStation 5 using its backwards compatibility feature for PlayStation 4 games, it was released a few days ago and it is a side-scrolling beat-em-up game, akin to titles such as Double Dragon and Final Fight. This game has an interesting history. It was released back in 2010 for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, but it was discontinued a few years later due to behind-the-scenes issues. Thankfully, the game has been re-released this year, and in my opinion, it is one of the best side-scrolling beat-em-up games ever made. Without further ado, let's discuss Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Complete Edition. The game's plot follows along its corresponding graphic novel and, in some aspects, the movie on which the title's name is based. While you can start the game as one of several characters, the main protagonist is Scott Pilgrim, who attempts to win a girl's heart. In order for him to accomplish this task, he must defeat the League of Exes, which encompasses the lover's ex-boyfriends. It is a simple story that can be cheesy, but the writing, at least in the graphic novel and movie, does a great job with fleshing out every character. If you have not read the novel or watched the movie, I highly suggest that you do so prior to playing this game. Otherwise, you will be at a disadvantage if you attempt to understand the characteristics of the game's boss fights, as well as your own persona. The visuals in this game are beautiful. They are reminiscent of old-school side-scrolling beat-em-up games, but the animation and character models far exceed most games in the genre. The attacks of the bosses, in particular, are very impressive. The soundtrack is also geared to an older audience with its Super Nintendo quality of music, but it captures some noticeable tunes from the movie and they are quite catchy. While the story, the visuals, and the audio are serviceable and often wonderful, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World's gameplay is the center of attention. As I mentioned earlier in the review, you can start the game by choosing one of several characters and a difficulty setting. Afterwards, you are thrusted into a world layout similar to Super Mario World and proceed to beat one level at a time. You have the option to perform a light attack, a heavy attack, long chain combo when prompted, a block, and a special move that drains your power bar. You can also dodge upwards and downwards to avoid enemy attacks or even parry when you level up and eventually acquire the skill. There are secret rooms to unlock as well as secret levels. The enemy AI can be very aggressive, especially if you play with friends, as the enemy count increases respectively. The boss fights maintain the well-done enemy AI, but they also perform certain actions that are incredibly cool to see. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World offers a main campaign, but it also offers other modes that are brought back from the original release's DLC. Boss Rush is self-explanatory, where you fight the game's bosses back-to-back. Battle Royale is a multiplayer mode where you fight until a player is the last person standing. Dodgeball is pretty much straightforward, I would say. Finally, Survival Horror is a horde mode where you fight waves and waves of zombies. As a whole, the title's gameplay is very well executed, and the recently released Complete Edition is a justification for the request by the original game's fans to bring back the game from limbo. With that being said, the gameplay is where Scott Pilgrim vs. the World's main issue resides. When you play the game with friends or random people online, the difficulty is quite manageable. If you plan to play by yourself, prepare for an overwhelming difficulty setting. It is brutal to proceed through the game's increasingly challenging levels without upgrading your character, and some of the last few levels are aggravating due to the checkpoint system. The final stage lasts for quite a while and asks you to fight several variations of the same boss. If you lose all of your lives at any point, you are brought back to the world layout system and you must restart from the very beginning of the level. I don't mind this checkpoint system because it reminds me of old school games in the same genre where that checkpoint system existed. However, I have never played a side-scrolling game beat 'em up, to be exact, that is as demanding as Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and accompanied by the aforementioned checkpoint system, the experience can present some truly unenjoyable moments. All in all, though, I had a wonderful time with Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. The game's difficulty does not change my praise of the game as one of the best titles in its genre, and I would recommend that you play it at your leisure. At the same time, though, I would also heavily advise that you complete it with friends or random people online. The game itself is great, and it is a shame the experience can be soured by quote-unquote unfriendly difficulty setting while you're playing solo. In the end, I will give this game a 9 out of 10. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Have you played this game? Are you planning on picking it up? Why or why not? Please let me know in the comment section below. Till next time, have a great day or evening wherever you are. My name is AES, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.